This is a public service announcement that we're back. Views from the 22, coming off a short hiatus. We in the game. We got Germ So True. We got Vic Jr. We in the building. Vic, man, holler at these people, man. Let them know what's up.
What's going on, man? We haven't been able to talk about the draft much live, bro, but we're here today. Thank God for that. Hopefully, we get some of our most faithful to join us, discuss some football. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I mean, we got a lot to talk about, man. Look, it's so much stuff going on right now currently in the world of sports. I mean, when I say a lot, we talking about a lot, man. It's from the number situation that we got going on in the NFL, which is a non-factor, to just understanding that this season coming up is going to be a very intriguing season. We got some teams getting back healthy. We got a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, just getting ready to come into fruition for a couple of teams. We got a team that everybody damn near on the roster is making like $3 million right now, almost, except for like 6 players, because they want to repeat and be champions again. So, I mean, it's a lot of good stuff to talk about. I'm just gonna be all the way honest. Give everybody here a couple of seconds for everybody to check in, and everything else like that. But Vic, I mean, at the end of the day, man, what's been some off-season things that you've seen so far that you've been really, really intrigued by?
Um, I guess little by little. I guess we could start from the beginning. I guess obviously Deshaun Watson situation, which we'll talk about in a second. In terms of football itself, a lot of these guys getting some 1 year deals, kind of because of the way the situation happened with COVID and stuff like in 2020, some of the revenue going down. Some of these guys took some 1 year deals to see if they could get a bigger contract after 2021. Some smart decisions, maybe. Hopefully, they can stay healthy. And then, of course, the draft talk, man. It's just we're obviously going to discuss it, Germ, but again, the film don't lie, bro. And we have another situation here where you have somebody that's been praised at a very high level from high school, 5-star athlete, looks the part, has the physical traits. Obviously elevated to a certain level that maybe he shouldn't be at. But again, we'll talk about it, we'll discuss it, and then at the end of the day, they got to play the game to see who is right or wrong.
So, with that being said, as everybody is getting ready to check into the building for this evening, let's just go ahead and let's start getting right into it. We're gonna start with the Deshaun Watson situation. I want to start with this because it's really, really important, and we got some real important stuff for us to really talk about here in this situation. To be all the way real with y'all, number one, we just gonna keep it all the way gangster about this situation. This is a very, 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 very tough situation. It's tough. I think the biggest reason why this is a tough situation is because altogether, I just do not understand why we have gotten this far in this situation. I'm just gonna be real. I don't like some of the speculations. I don't like the way that things were presented in this situation. To be honest with you, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't really like some of the allegations that we've seen come out of this either. I mean, we have pretty much in so many words, for lack of better terms, portrayed this man to be something that is very, very, very intriguing. Which I think we were portraying this man to be a monster and some type of sexual deviant. Um, he has admitted in a lot of different ways that he has had sexual conduct with these women. But the thing is, the speculation around the people and the media and things like that, people are actually right now saying, well, this doesn't look good for him. Well, based on statements, I don't see how it looks good or bad. It can't be bad or good based on statements, because what are statements known to do in the court of law? They're known to retract, they're known to be drawn
Change.
out, and things are known to happen and change. So there are some updates that I want to give on the situation for everybody. I'm starting a little slow because I want to make sure that everybody can get in, because I really want everybody to be able to hear this. But honestly, man, this is why I always wait for facts to come out before I react about what came out. Because in court, it's not about what you know or what you did, it's about what you can prove. But also, it always, always, always is about the evidence and what's presented against the defendants in these situations. And all of the evidence is, we just seen 22 women, and I think a lot of people went and they jumped off and they jumped around with the situation and the information. But these are just some things that have been said in the situation. And here's a couple of case studies. It says, we and Mr. Watson takes allegations of sexual misconduct against women very seriously, as we all should. We have waited to respond to the numerous allegations made by Mr. Busby and his clients until we could responsibly investigate. In a few days since his accuser's name have been revealed, as was required by Texas law, we are discovering an avalanche, it says, of false accusations. Only two of these 22 allegations forced sexual activity, alleged sexual activity, was in this situation. So 2 of the 22 so far have come out in this situation right now. And I'm about to read you what the statement said. I'm not even going to read the names because I don't have any reason to read the names. But one person, allegedly her business manager, acknowledged to Deshaun Watson and his marketing team, but his marketing manager, that is, that the contact was consensual, but she wanted money. All right. And then the other girl's case, the witnesses state that the other witness was happy and excited after she massaged Deshaun. She lied about being alone at the spa with him. She knew there was a security guard present at the time when he was there. In addition, she told witnesses that if Watson would have paid her off, she would have supported him instead of suing him. So all of that being said, Vic, before I even go any further, give me some of the things and some of the thoughts that you have in this situation.
I don't know, man. It sounds very sketchy to me. My first question is, what exactly are the charges? Is he being charged for rape? Is he being charged for sexual assault? Like, what are the charges?
Sexual misconduct.
Sexual misconduct. I mean, does that require jail time? Like, I don't like it. This is obviously something that it seems to be planned out, premeditated type of thing. It's so much sketchiness, man. Listen, I don't want to downplay anything that these females might have gone through, but it just seems very odd. It's just one of those things again where, like, we just have to wait for all the evidence to come out to judge it, man. Because it's for a kid that looks like he's very level-headed, very mature and stuff like that. It's kind of scary, some of the accusations that they have against him. And obviously we're hoping it's not true, for both him and for the ladies involved.
Absolutely. And then within some of that information, these are just some of the stuff that they're saying about some of the numbers of women. After the massage therapy sessions with Deshaun, it says 8 plaintiffs bragged about it, praised, and were excited about massaging Deshaun. 7 plaintiffs willingly worked or offered to work with Deshaun after their alleged incidents. 3 plaintiffs lied about the number of sessions they actually had with Deshaun. 3 plaintiffs lied about the alleged trauma and resulting harm. 5 plaintiffs told others they wanted to get money out of Deshaun. and 5 plaintiffs have scrubbed or entirely deleted their social media accounts.
So I mean, the question, Germ, is like, is it basically one or two women that something might have happened that made them uncomfortable, and now another 20 of them are now just trying to, you know, for lack of a better
So
term,
all
dip
all
in.
this all of this is these are allegations that are being presented against them because now it's becoming a situation with his lawyer. The lawyer wants to see, first of all, they're trying to get money out of him. So that means they're suing him. This means that it's court being involved now because they
Mhm.
want to sue him for money. So civil suits, things of that nature. I don't even think this has went to criminal court yet. This is still a
Yeah,
civil situation.
that's what Tanya's saying here.
But that's the beautiful thing about this. And why I say beautiful is because in court, you have to present the information that you have against the person. They have to give the information. So right now, I got it. I'm not one of those people who is about to sit up here and be malicious toward the women. I'm not one of those people who's going to be upset. I wholeheartedly believe that he wanted to prove he was innocent for a reason. He wanted to prove that he did not do anything outside of maybe have sexual contact with these women who he agrees that he did have the sexual contact with, and
Yeah,
he admits it. So if he admits his fault in this situation, him admitting the fault already right there gives him credibility in the situation because he's already admitted where he was wrong.
right.
That's
No,
important in this.
right. At this stage, is it's probably not even about the money to him. It's about his pride, about his character being in question right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
we all have little weaknesses here and there. We all, maybe he fell into some traps that he wishes he could take back. You never know. So right now he's just trying to just make sure his character stays where what we initially believed. The kind of guy that he is.
Absolutely. And altogether, with everything being said, as we transition away from it, I just want everybody to understand that as rough as this is, the biggest thing here is that we want at Views is we want we want people to be honest. We want people to be forthcoming, but also I never want to see somebody be taken advantage of in any type of way.
Hmm.
I never want to see that. So I have sympathy and empathy for anybody and everybody that goes through situations like this, but I never want to see somebody lie on another person or fabricate a story in a situation like that. I just don't like it. And if you tell me that the Texans don't have nothing to do with this, I don't believe you. That's just me being honest. Any final thoughts on that, or are we
Nah,
ready
man.
to move on?
Yeah, listen. This kid to me is one of the most special players in the league. So I hope we get to see him play in 2021, bro. For real. Regardless if he's in the Texans.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So with that being said, we have, of course, as we're getting ready to go into the draft. The other thing that we have is we have, the offseason free agency, stuff like that. We really didn't talk a lot about free agency during this year. We talked a couple weeks. We had a little bit of headway at the beginning, but now we're going to discuss a couple of things. Um, I presented this on the petty mock draft, and to be honest with you, I want to reiterate this and go over this with you a little bit more. I picked five paper champions. And five paper champions meaning on paper, they have everything that you need to be a contender and be very, very vital to them making a run this year. Coming in at number 5, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this roster is one of the better ones of football, as it is why it's number 5 on my list. Um, you still got Bosa. You got Nwosu, who is an outstanding player that they took from USC a couple of years ago. I was a little higher on him than Vic was, and Mo were, but he's turned out to be a pretty good player for them. They still got Kenneth Murray. He's a year removed from the draft last year. And they still have Derwin James, who is one of the premier players in the secondary in professional sports. And altogether, man, I just think that with Herbert, Keenan Allen, Jared Cook gives them a veteran tight end that maybe can help with Herbert's development a little bit more. You also, in this situation that you're in now, you can always draft some guys to help you out. You can always do that as well. But I think this roster with the offense, the defense, I think they're set, and I think they look pretty damn good moving forward. Vic, anything that you'd like to add, subtract, or whatever the case is with that?
No, man, that you know how much I like Herbert last year. He was my one of my favorite players in the draft. 2020. Outstanding quarterback, shows some flashes of greatness. Obviously has work to do in certain areas of his game and stuff like that. But I mean, they have Brian Bulaga, they have Corey Lindsey now at center that they got from Green Bay. So, hey man, if they could get themselves a good left tackle, both left tackle and left guard, if they can draft some guys there, some young players that can start immediately, whether it's the first or second round, they can definitely help that offense, take another leap. And of course, it's just going to be health on defense, bro. I mean, health on the whole team overall, but Perkins and stuff like that not being available. I'm sorry, Derwin James not being available kind of dampers that defense. But for the Chargers, I'm looking for them to go beef as much as possible in this draft, especially to protect Justin Herbert.
Absolutely, and that's why we say paper champions, because they're set up for them to be able to draft the things that they need, best player available, damn near with their roster that they have now. And as long as they're able to do that and continue to add talent to this already talented team, they're going to be right there. This is one of the teams that played Kansas City the best last year.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because they're a division team, but because they have the personnel on the back end to make it a very, very interesting and long day. And with Derwin James, he can take a tight end and in some situations take him out of the game. And that's going to be very, very intriguing as we move forward. So I want us to keep an eye on that. Number 4, the Minnesota Vikings is number 4. We bring in Dalvin Tomlinson. We bring back Michael Pierce off the COVID list. So we solidify the interior part of our defensive line. We still have the cyborg Danielle Hunter. We can still figure out extra things for pass rush. Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks are two of the best in the business as far as linebackers. You bring in Pat Pete to go along with Gladney from last year and also Cameron Dantzler from last year. You still got Harrison Smith. I like what I see. That defense can come back and be a top 10 defense this year. That'll be a big thing. Offensively, man, we already know about Justin Jefferson. We already know about Adam Thielen. We already know about Dalvin Cook. He probably was one of the 3 best running backs in football last year. We're just going to call it what it is. Kurt, the only thing that we need, Kurt, is that time, man. This is the time, bro. It's time to step up. Offensive line is still getting better. Offensive line is still trying to develop. They do a lot of things with a zone running scheme, meaning that's why they got guys like Brian O'Neill on the right side, who's probably not a right tackle. And you see those type of things, and they drafted the kid from last year. His name escapes me at the moment. Ezra Cleveland. Another one of those agile, light in the ass linemen that they use for that zone blocking scheme, where it lets Dalvin destroy, disintegrate, and and do his thing with people.
I mean, what's interesting there is that they were playing him at right guard towards the end of the season, bro. So you have O'Neal and you have Cleveland, right tackle, right guard. Basically athletes. They're not going to beat you with power, but like you said, they use a lot of that zone, a lot of outside zone, and allowing Dalvin and those athletes to get out in space and have some pretty good rushing attacks, man, especially against the Packers. I'm sure the Packer fans know a little bit about what the Vikings did to them last year.
Absolutely. And, I mean, Zimmer, this is probably one of the better rosters you're going to have, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
It's that time.
Very true. I mean, bro, you got a situation where like you got 3 players on offense that can easily be considered elite. You know what I'm saying? Like whichever way you want to grade them, 90, 95, 99. You got Dalvin Cook, you got Justin Jefferson, the outstanding rookie last year, Adam Thielen, and then you got Irv Smith at tight end, who's developing nicely as well. So
And he's
it's
a
gonna be
tremendous player.
yeah. I mean, this whole offense is nothing but athletes and speed. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So again, like you said, Zimmer got to get the job done. Kirk Cousins, we're not gonna take him away from the criticism. You know, there's some things that he can get better at. So his accuracy is great at times. His decision making is great. We just need we just need him to take over a game. Just get himself to that elite level class that we think he can get to.
You want to know what the problem is? They will never beat the number 3 team on my list.
What the hell is that?
The San Francisco 49ers. Number 3. I don't give a sam blim blam what y'all talking about. On paper, they're in the NFC Championship
game.
They have the best offensive line in football.
Do they?
Yes. It's disgusting. They have the best 2 bookend tackles right now.
Okay.
Cleveland is trying to contend right now, and Baltimore is second. Mike McGlinchey and Mr. Trent Williams.
Mm-hmm.
With a real Trent Williams, please get paid. And he just did.
Wow.
That running game is disgusting. Raheem Mostert is one of the best backs in football. Fact. Not only that, Debo and Brandon Ayuk is a great combination with George Kittle. And then we got the nerve and audacity to have Eric Armstead, D Ford, Javon Kinlaw, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner calling the signals in the middle of that defense. They have everything they need but a few corners. And I look for them to address corner in this draft.
At what pick?
The 49ers are in a situation where they can pick in the second round. They can get a corner in the second round. There's no biggie.
Okay.
It'll be a guy. Don't worry. It'll be some guys around when they want to pick. And if they want to trade up, they can do that again if they want to. I don't care.
Remember, they traded up to pick number 3.
I know. That's why I want to talk about this real quick. Because you can always flip Jimmy G and get some other players.
It doesn't happen often.
But I want to say this, with them trading up to 3, ladies and gentlemen, for the people in the back, you do not take any other player if you draft it to the top 3 but a quarterback. You don't trade up to the top 3 to take any other position.
Yep.
Especially where you traded from. You don't have a first-round pick next year. So that means you see a quarterback. You say, hey, I'm good with Trevor Lawrence, who fits the best. Out of all of these quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence fits the best.
This is debatable. But
you know why he fits the best?
Why?
Because that's the same situation he went to with Alabama in his freshman season. Fast defense, very, very, very good offensive line.
Clemson.
A very good running game to go along with, I don't have to win the game. I just have to be me.
Is that the 3rd overall pick in the draft?
That is the 3rd overall pick in the draft.
Bro, if I'm picking a quarterback top 5, that dude better be elite. He better develop into a player that's gonna take over a game for me. You know what I mean? So Listen, we already know the order that most likely is going to happen is going to most likely be Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson 1 and 2.
Mhm.
We don't believe that it should be that way. We believe that it's Zach Wilson and then Mac Jones should be 1 and 2, but that's another story for another day. I think Mac Jones, based on his ability to process the information in front of him pre and post snap as quickly as he does, read through his progressions, will be outstanding for this offense. I strongly believe that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch see that in this player. And I think they will definitely make this pick with Mac Jones. Um, I still believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. Not many people do. I think healthy, this is an outstanding quarterback still. I think he's still a top 15 quarterback. Um, but if you have a chance to pick, to me, what I think Mac Jones and Zach Wilson can be elite level, elite class when it's all said and done, you make that pick. And they're going to have a shot at one of those two guys. Trevor Lawrence, again, we could go out there and some of the questions we have about him, but to me, Mac Jones and Zach Wilson are outstanding, and they will be very fun to watch if they come to a situation like the 49ers, who have, like you said, everything. Trent Williams, I mean, what an amazing story, bro. Like, for the situation that he went through health-wise and then with the Redskins, to go to San Fran and dominate the way he did, probably play the best left tackle last season overall is tremendous. And then he finally got a nice big contract to show for it.
Absolutely. Number 2 on my list, the Cleveland Browns. Let me tell you something. I don't understand how the offensive line is all coming back. That's number 1. Nicholas Ebenezer Chubb Jr. the third is still coming back with Kareem Hunt behind him. You get Jarvis, you got Odell coming back, you got all 3 tight ends coming back. Baker's coming back after this year. But that ain't even the reason why we here. Defensively, you're in a situation right now where you have all the necessary pieces to make this go. You have corners. You bring in Johnson from the Rams. You brought him in because you wanted him to take tight ends sometimes and help you with those tight ends because you struggle with them. Mm-hmm. Grant Delpit is going to be on the field this year, and that's going to be the most intriguing part of this. Is going to be the Grant Delpit situation. Not only that, they bring back Rodney Harrison from Alabama, who they really liked, that played very well for them last year. Mm-hmm. Bro, and then you add Jadeveon Clowney and Tank McKinley, Tack, for 1-year deals, and they both coming off down years with Myles Garrett.
I mean, listen, bro, on paper, looking at this roster, especially that defense,
I haven't even named Anthony Walker, and y'all know I'm an Anthony Walker advocate.
Bro, you got Anthony Walker in the middle, which if they had a weakness in terms of the running game helping Myles Garrett, because whenever you run a Myles Garrett side, most likely you were going to get stopped. But now you add Anthony Walker. Taki looked like a damn good player for where they drafted him at. And then you look at the secondary, bro. You got John Johnson and Troy Hill came from the Rams, that outstanding nickelback corner. I don't know what the Rams were trying to do. It looks like
they didn't have no money. Anymore. They didn't have no money.
Fair enough. So, I mean, you bring those two from that secondary to help with Greedy Williams, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, like you said. This is a very young, good-looking defense on paper. So, it's going to be on the coaching staff to get the best out of these kids. Jadeveon Clowney, oh, my God, finally somebody at least skilled enough to play opposite of Myles Garrett. Should be, fun to watch. Obviously, Jadeveon's some of his credibility is knocked down. Is his effort? Is he getting a situation where he's aging more than his age? if you know what I mean. We don't know what it is, but we'll see now because he has pieces all over at defense to be able to see some one-on-one, blocking and things like that, and try to win some matchups there. Have himself a good season.
I just don't. I don't see how you mess this up if you Cleveland.
Mhm.
Like, and then you got a draft situation where you can get a guy like Zaven Collins, a guy like Nick Bolton, a guy like JOK from Notre Dame to add to that, or you just take the best player available. And what if the best player available is Elijah Moore? What if the best player available is a player like that? And you just don't. They have so much stuff that they can do defensively now to really make it interesting for a team like Kansas City.
I mean, they basically set themselves up for a BPA, bro. Like best player available, regardless of best player available of need. They don't have to force, get fill a need or fill a gap or something. They can go ahead and draft the best player available, and make something out of it, man. Like I don't like. What if Caleb Farley falls because of his back injury? Are you drafting him even though you got a solid secondary on paper?
Yeah. What you mean? What you mean? Denzel Ward is not the Denzel Ward. You can
I
take
know how you feel. I know how you feel about that. They should have had Bradley Chubb. They should have had Bradley Chubb.
that would have
But
that would have
Denzel got
changed
some upside.
everything.
Yes.
But with that being said, number one on the actual list is Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Did y'all really think that they was gonna lead a list? No, they weren't. You bring back the best quarterback in the world,
Watch the views drop.
and then everything that we have to say after that is very, very, very simple. You just brought back a Super Bowl winning roster. You brought back everybody. The only person not from that roster, to be honest, is Antonio Brown. But even with that, you've added Giovanni Bernard, who at this stage in his career can come in on third down and give you a dude that you have to worry about.
Really,
and we got to remember this. We got to remember this too. This is also the dude who was Cincinnati's feature back for a part of the last year because Mixon was out.
Yep.
I mean, you bring it back. Tanya, thank you. Shouts out to everybody in the comments. I'm going to read some comments, and then we're going to get to the draft talk. As Tanya just said here in her last comment, you bring it back all 22. Shouts out to views from the 22. Because that's what it's all about. She said, you know what it is with me, free Deshaun. She said, he's not being charged, he's being sued. KG said they had everything to do with it because they knew he wanted out. He just has to not lose. I think I know what you're talking about with that. Brown's roster is fire. Shouts out to my homeboy T. He says the Patriots. Hey, we ain't gonna talk about them right now because there's not really much to say. Shouts out to people in YouTube comments.
There's plenty to say
about. Hey man, Trav said that the situation was crazy as well. Tanya was here as well. Tanya pulling double duties. Thank you, First Lady, for being in the comments. Trav agrees, but he said the 49ers on paper is and maybe the best team in the NFL. And he just feels like that the Niners will be in the same spot as the Chiefs were with Alex Smith till they get their Pat Mahomes, which is their franchise quarterback.
Hold on. So the Bucs signed Fournette back too?
Yeah, Fournette.
So I mean, because there is rumors that they still may be bringing Antonio Brown in.
I know, because you know what? Antonio Brown said, "Can we please run it back?" And you know what Devin White said? We waiting on you. Hey, y'all, you listen, man. It's about to get
what a crazy story that was last season, bro. Oh my God. And you still got people talking about Tom Brady needs all the help he can get.
You said that the Bears is better than the Browns. Okay. I don't know if the Bears are necessarily better. I think you have some pieces that are very, very similar. The Browns offensive line is better than the Bears, and the
That's
Browns
probably
skill
that's
position players. I would say this: the Browns skill position players are better than the Bears. Allen Robinson being y'all best player, but y'all ain't got a Nicholas Ebenezer Chubb the third over there in Chicago, and I just want you to know that y'all ain't
they don't
got
even
one of
have a
those.
Baker. What you mean? What you mean? They don't even have a Baker, dog. Come on.
Well, here's the thing.
Let's put some respect on Baker's name, dog.
Okay, all right. Well, hold on. All I'm gonna say is the Bears don't even have a quarterback. So that being said, as we get out of there, yeah, Devin White, Mr. Autobots, I'm in pursuit. I call him Optimus Prime. It is what it is. He is that dude for me. Best linebacker I've ever scouted. But on to draft season. Now, Vic, we get to have a little fun, but before we have some fun, we're gonna talk about this for a couple minutes because I want everybody to hear this. Draft rankings. Draft rankings, ladies and gentlemen, are not about a player being the best player or not. It's about a player being the most complete player or not. So that means if we ranking a player out of 10, are we saying that this player is complete? So when Zach Wilson is put up on and put up in front of me, the first thing I'm looking at is this. Zach Wilson has the arm talent to make every throw that needs to be made from the pocket. Now, why is this important that I say from the pocket? Because the one place that the quarterback protected, Vic, is
in the pocket.
That's where the quarterback still has to be played. Quarterback still has to be played in the pocket in order for us to get to January. So we got to make sure that we understand that there are things in the NFL that we have to make sure. And one of those things is if a guy can make all of the pocket throws, the throws from the pocket, that is vitally important to the game of football. But what I did was I brought my scouting prowess to this, and me and Vic developed in 2017 a way that we wanted to do some things. Vic knows my three terms. My three terms that I say for quarterback. I say number one, accuracy. I can't teach you how to throw the ball to somebody and put it in the right spot. That's something that you just have to have. Okay. Number two, decision making. If you make good decisions with the ball, you're going to do it 9 out of 10 times. We're going to see bad decisions because we're humans. We're not perfect, but we're going to see bad decisions sometimes. But it's when it's consistently on film that it bothers us, specifically me, more than anything else. Okay. And the last but not least, consistency. Now, consistency goes so easy. Why? Because consistency is your movement in the pocket. Consistency is your throwing motion. Consistency is your decision making. Consistency is with accuracy. Consistency goes down to everything that the quarterback does because it is the only position in professional sports that is damn near robotic. So we have to be consistent with the way we turn around and do our reverse pivot handoff. Because sticking to the reverse pivot handoff technique, we have to make sure that we take the proper step for this particular thing or this. Okay? I don't need you to be in a situation where you're trying to make this into something that is not. Because it's not because you don't like Justin Fields. Justin Fields is not consistent with his throwing motion. Justin Fields is not consistent with his decision making. Justin Fields is not consistent with his accuracy. So what you're asking me is, well, his completion percentage was this, but he's not having to make some of the throws that Zach Wilson is. Zach Wilson is having to make throws down the field a little bit more than he is. But not only that, Zach Wilson plays in an offense that is not necessarily quarterback friendly. Quarterback friendly meaning a lot of things around the line of scrimmage and a lot of things outside in the backfield coming out where he's able to just hit a running back and the running back get 8 yards, like Trevor Lawrence in this situation. When he was asked to take the ball down the field, there was a significant difference besides him throwing around the line of scrimmage. Same thing goes for Justin Fields. So that doesn't mean that Justin Fields is going to be a bust because every player is subject to get better. What that means is Zach Wilson doesn't have that this kid has. So I'm going to leave it right there. Vic, get in there, and I'm going to want you to be able to talk about this from your perspective.
Right. I mean, some of the things you see with Justin Fields, a lot of the, he does have a very good deep ball. The accuracy is there. The touch is there. He's got a good feel for it. But like we talk about all the time, that's a low percentage throw, especially in the NFL. You got the corners are going to be a little bit more sticky in coverage, and the safeties and the defenses are just going to be prepared for that. So can you go through the progressions of high, mid, low? Or can you be consistent on your outside throws, outside the hash marks to the numbers? Can you be consistent with those throws? Can you be consistent where making your first read and getting to your second and third read comfortably without having to get the feeling of you got to get out of the pocket and run? That's what we're looking for. And Justin Fields at this stage in his career seems to struggle with that. All right. The short intermediate throws with accuracy and consistency. It's just point blank period. And like Jerm points out, every single time we watch him, once his first read is not there, he's quickly getting jittery in the pocket, getting ready to move out. So there's just some inconsistencies with his game that are kind of scary. And, there's just, to me, there's a difference between him and Zach Wilson and Mac Jones when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And this doesn't mean he can't get better. Just because I don't grade him where Mel Kiper grades him, that doesn't mean that I see the game the same way as Mel Kiper. My values, I gave you my 3 values for a quarterback. So if I value a quarterback, those are the 3 things that I'm looking at. So let's just be honest. Let's be honest. That same formula got Deshaun Watson as the number 1 quarterback on the Views from the 22 board. Mm-hmm. That same formula got us with Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield 1 and 2 on another quarterback board. That same formula, Vic. So it's not that the formula is wrong. It's not as that the formula is wrong. The formula is actually proven to be right now. By now it's proven if it's working consecutively and it's starting to get somewhere, these are the problems with Josh Rosen. These were the problems with Sam Darnold. So we're looking at all of these issues, but all of these things come back to Carson Wentz as a draft prospect had these things going for him. Same as Andrew Luck. So if we look at it, damn, Germ, you've simplified the game to 3 terms for bringing a quarterback into the league because those 3 things will get you to January and possibly a February game. That doesn't mean that these other guys can't improve. I want everybody to hear me out loud. Because I ranked Justin Fields 25 doesn't mean he can't turn out to be the best quarterback on the board. I didn't say he was trash. I said he had question marks.
At this stage, yep.
That's all this means in the process. He just has question marks. So just understand that question marks just mean that you get drafted a little lower or you're placed a little lower. It's the same thing as being an employee. If your attendance, if you were being ranked as an employee, they would say your attendance, your work performance, and this dictates this. If you don't show up to work, it doesn't matter how good you work. If you have a terrible work performance, it doesn't matter that you show up to work. So if you're not accurate with the football, it doesn't matter how good of a talent you have to throw it deep because you still got to throw it accurately, fool.
Yes. At every level.
So all that being said, that's why Mac, that's why Zach, are rated a little higher, and that is the whole reason why. Has nothing to do with anything else. Nobody is dissing these dudes. Nobody said it. Now, the quarterbacks that I will diss are the ones that get to the next level and they show me that they're not as good. Lamar Jackson has shown me he's not as good. Can he get better? Absolutely. And Trav, you are correct. Zach Morris is trash. So
Where's
So-
Trey Lance on the board?
So Trey Lance is not a top 50 player. Why is Trey Lance not a top 50 player? Number one, I have problems with accuracy. I also have problem with decision making, and I have problem with consistency. So how can you be a top 50 player in the draft and you don't have those things at your position? Oh, well, he runs fast, but he plays quarterback. Oh, well, he has a deep, he can throw the ball 50 yards, but he can't throw the ball 5 yards.
With accuracy.
So why am I ranking him so high? Because his upside is crazy. I can't give you a situation where I say, oh, well, he's great, but yeah, the reason why I'm ranking him here is just because I think he can turn out to be this. I can't rate you off of talent and rate you off of a curve grading scale at the same time.
Yeah.
Because what we do is, oh, he has all the physical traits. But what happened if those traits never pan out? Then you overdraft it.
Where's the mental part?
Where does it, and that's another thing. 90% of the game is still mental. The 10% of your for that position, yes. For the offensive lineman, you can outthink a defensive line. But this is why when you turn on a film and you looking at it, you can watch. Okay, he likes to press that outside shoulder and then hit me with this dip move. As soon as he presses, go ahead.
That's interesting perspective to look at, Jerm, because who would you think is more athletic, the defensive line or the offensive line? Who is more athletic? What side of the ball? Right.
Defense. First of all, Vic, let's put this into perspective because that's where we're at.
Right.
The defense are the best athletes on the field. That means your cornerbacks, those little 5'10" dudes. You ever notice that most corners got 40-inch verticals? And the receivers be at 35? There's a reason why.
But what's the difference between a DB and a receiver?
Ball tracking.
And one can catch better than the other.
Correct. Because if
so
you
what,
can't catch,
what is the term? Right. What is the term?
If you can't catch, Vic, what are you not?
Right. Not a receiver.
Like
DB. What is the term I say? DBs are receivers that never made it.
Correct.
So it's a good perspective. Like the defensive line is always going to be more athletic than the offensive line, but the offensive line. That's why a lot of people say the offensive linemen. They one of the smartest people on the field.
Your center has
because
to
they're not
understand.
going to beat you. Yeah, they're not going to beat you with athleticism. They're going to beat you with
technique and with wits. Because your center has to understand that I got this 4-3 speed defensive end that's getting ready to come off this edge right here and kill my quarterback if I don't shift my line protection to the right direction. Y'all got to understand, man, this ain't personal. There is no emotion in this for me. When I look at an offensive lineman, Quentin Nelson is one of the strongest offensive linemen in football. But do you know why he's one of the best? It's because he's also one of the smartest offensive linemen. When he gets a chance to hit somebody, when he gets to looking for you, that's when you don't want him to look. He's one of you don't want him looking for you.
He did it in college and in the pros, where he came from his left guard spot all the way to the right side of the field
to block,
to get a blitz.
Like what do you want from him? But see, this is why I'm saying like the cerebral part of the game means something.
bro. It's such an unappreciated. I don't even think it's unappreciated. I don't think people fully understand what it takes. I don't think
Watch this.
people when they think of the word talent, Germ, they think of physical. They think of something that they can see and go wow to. No, there's a some people have mental talent as well. So when you talk about the quarterback position, why do you want your quarterback to be your most athletic person on the field? That doesn't help you win games.
If your best athlete is on the offensive side of the football, I think my question is, if your best athletes are on offense, what are you doing defensively? Because having smart athletes is great on defense, but smart athletes don't cover 30 yards, for lack of better terms. Smart defenders. Sean Lee is one of the smartest defenders that you'll see. Match him up with Darren Waller and see how much separation Darren Waller gets from that little shimmy shake move that he does on the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 5 yards of separation. Sean Lee is going to try to think that he can try to stop it, but he can't do nothing with that. So this is why, watch this. This is about to get emotional. All 5 teams that I named, where are their best athletes at?
Defense.
Vita Vea is 360 pounds and moves like a deer and occupies 2 to 3 blocks at a time. So can we just call this what it is, y'all? This is not me hating on none of the players. I'm evaluating talent, not necessarily who's the best in the next 5 years. When we talked about this, see, this is why I want y'all to listen to views when we talk about these things, because it's not like we just talking just to talk. It's a lot of stuff that we give you guys for a reason. We told you guys, we all 3 picked last year at the beginning of the year. We said Kansas City and Tampa Bay. People say, oh, Tampa Bay won't do it because they this and Brady is not this. But we've been telling you for years that Brady was this. So just say I don't like Tom Brady, so I don't want to see him win. But if he get there, he get there.
Yeah. Save the breath.
Save all of the extracurricular stuff. We told you Kansas City was going to be there, not because Kansas City is the best team in the NFL, but because Pat Mahomes has only lost to 1 quarterback. In January. Do you know who that guy is? Tom Brady. He's whooped Deshaun Watson's ass. Josh Allen has been beat. This dude don't lose in January to nobody that don't have a jersey number 3 points under his. And I'm talking about the original, not the bootleg. If y'all like bootleg movies, that's cool. They're normally not as clear and crystal. They're not crystal clear with the delivery anyway, so it don't make a difference. That's a bar. It's levels. But Vic,
So
I mean, as we get ready to wrap up a couple of things here, defensive players should be your best athletes. That's number 1. And on top of defensive players, we want to make sure we also cover this last part, which is very, very important. When somebody ranks players, they're ranking them by the players the closest to perfect. The kid from Penn State, not Parsons, the other kid, the Jason Owen kid.
Oweh, whatever. OWEH, right?
Mm-hmm. Why is he ranked 14th on the board? Because all he needs is a pass rush move when you're that fast and explosive. He's a plus natural athlete, very, very fast on his feet. If he doesn't work out at defensive end, Vic, you got a strong side linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't he have a higher ceiling than somebody else? Or a higher grade than Justin Fields? This is the same guy we've seen chase down Justin Fields on the sideline. Did Justin Fields get around him? No, he didn't. So next, go ahead.
How many sacks did Brian Burns have at the end of his college career.
Total?
Checking right now. Yeah.
If I'm not correct, I don't think he had more than 20.
Okay, he had a 4 and a 10. So I mean, because people are saying that Jason didn't have the sack numbers, he had 0, but what he did have was a lot of pressures. Okay, so again, sacks is one of those situations where it's kind of an overrated stat. Again, football is a 50-50 sport when it comes to 50% stats, 50% how did you change the game. So what is the difference between him sacking the quarterback on third down or putting pressure and it comes out into an incompletion?
Same difference.
It's still the same thing, except that you didn't get the sack. You got the ball back though. You gave your offense a chance to get the ball back. It's the same thing. So we'll see what happens there, man. He's obviously not an elite pass rusher. He's not of the Chase Young
If he
or
had a
Nick
pass
Bosa
rush
level.
move, if he had one pass rush move, he would be top 7.
Right.
Because everything else is there. Listen, he's a plus run defender. He's taking double teams and setting up behind the line of scrimmage, Vic. What more do you ask for?
Right.
So go ahead and get what you were going to say out. I'm sorry.
No, that was. I mean, it is. It's going to be a situation where we're going to see where he goes. Can they, a good defensive line coach get their hands on him and teach him a couple moves? You could tell that he is a very raw athlete, very raw to the position. So, I mean, what if he develops some moves? Like you said, all of a sudden you got yourself a pass rusher. All of a sudden, what? He
With
should have
all
been
of the
picked
other
top
physical
5.
traits.
Right.
What all of the things that you see, if at worst you get a strong side linebacker out of it, or a guy that you can use in sub packages to chase down quarterbacks in a more athletic league, you won. You still got that. That's what makes you a first round grade. It's because position versatility means a lot in this NFL. So, real quick, Petty, shouts out to everybody in the comments again. Shouts out to everybody watching who does watch or whatever the case is. We will be doing a live draft party Thursday. So we will be here the whole time, breaking down the picks, talking about the players, all that good stuff. I want y'all to understand, like, we do this for y'all. We do this because we love it. And, stop through, have fun. We're going to bring people with the contingency people on the screen with us. We're going to have a party. Be professional. That's all we can ask. It's a party. So if you're eating on camera, whatever the case is, I might have some Rotel, who knows? Just know, like, we here to have a little fun, bring on some contingencies and discuss football and watch the draft. That's what we're here to do. So, Vic, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to that?
No, I mean, hopefully we'll get some other shows as well before the draft as well, talk about the prospects a little bit more. We're short on time a little bit here, but definitely probably get another petty mock going, possibly this weekend, and kind of talk about the results. I like, the way the draft turned out, even though I was traveling that day from South Carolina on the road. That was pretty fun. I think everybody did a great job. I love what Jerry did with the Jets. There was a reason why he he wanted them so bad, was to make that Zach Wilson pick. I'm sorry, for Jacksonville, right? He's been watching, he's been listening.
No, that
but
was
he's also,
Dion that was supposed to make that pick.
Oh, so who
I
was it
made the pick for Jacksonville and destroyed everybody's board because Germ is petty. I'm petty like that.
But then, so Jerry picked who Jerry picked? They didn't pick for the Jets.
Mac Jones.
Right. Oh, okay. So he came with Mac Jones. All right. Yeah. So even better. No, he's been paying attention. Jerry on the side. Sometimes he's watching some games himself too. So, and I also like what Josh did. I don't know if Josh is with us right now, but Josh, went opposite of picking Penei Sewell, who is considered the best offensive lineman in this draft. He went and got Slater, and I mean, can't argue with him there. because
I
that
mean,
kid can be
Slater
good.
might be the better athlete between him and Sewell. Slater was a player that he asked a lot of questions. Okay, Tanya, we made the pick, but whatever. Jeez.
It's gonna be so interesting, man. It will, it's gonna be.
We'll be in
I'm
touch
excited to
with
see.
everybody in the group for the second part of the draft. Don't worry, we'll have some fun with it. But shouts out to everybody in the comments again, man. We just appreciate, being able to come through with everybody. Shouts out to Jarrell in the comments, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Now you get to see some football stuff with us. Hey man, I'm here for all of this. For
Listen,
all of
I wanted to show some film today. We don't know what's going on with some copyright stuff.
what we'll do is
So
we'll do some more stuff and we'll get another show in before the draft party. And we'll just do some things for some quarterbacks. Make sure y'all hit us up and tell us what y'all would like to see, of course. So I mean, views from the 22, the Facebook group, go ahead and check it out. View 22 on Twitter as well. I just want y'all to, know like we are everywhere. There, I mean, come on, man. You might as well just come on and stop through. Of course, as well, we are on IG. We are. The IG page is view_22. And as y'all see, we got so many things. And then we got the scene. The scene on Instagram, scene_the on Twitter, capital SCEN, all capital letters, SCEN, all caps on Facebook for the like page. And again, of course, we got Twitch, the_scene. And then, of course, if you hear the YouTubers, make sure your notifications are on. Make sure that you're subscribed. We are here. Vic, Germ, Mo should be with us coming up for the draft. So we're going to have some fun with that. Views from the 22. We out, y'all.